Hi, this is Made by Mommy, and today it is my honor to share with you a design created by Joni Olson. She, of course, credits PG's Loomacy, Marlooms, and Crafty Ladybug, and a whole great community of people that are posting designs on Facebook, all of whom inspired certain aspects of this design. This is a very complicated design with a lot of pieces to construct, but the good news is that you only need one loom, and the loom can be a rainbow loom, which is what I'm going to use, but it could also be a crazy loom, a bandaloom, or a wonder loom. We're going to work in a staggered configuration, so any of your looms should work. You will need a great big pile of rubber bands. This is a very complicated project, so please be patient. And if you pause when I'm going too fast, you should be able to follow along. I'm going to show every step. I'm going to today make a white unicorn with a rainbow mane and a rainbow tail. You may have something different in mind. Whatever color choices you make, I'm sure will be great. So let's get started. We're going to begin with the pieces that are going to need to get added onto the loom when we lay out the whole body of the unicorn. So starting with an empty loom, we're going to try and lay out our ears and our legs and the horn, if you want to make it a unicorn, and the nose, so that we have those ready for us when we're constructing the entire body. So I'm going to do the ears first. And for the ears, so I left a rubber band there, we want to take two white rubber bands, or whatever color your horse is going to be. Put those around, and for your second ear, put the two rubber bands here. And then we're going to wrap a single rubber band around a peg. 3 times is the minimum. I like to do 4. I think it's neater. And some of you who are especially ambitious will probably end up doing 5. But 3 is really what you want to make sure you do. So that's one ear. And the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. Wrap that around a whole bunch of times. And that's what will make the tip of the ear. For the legs, we want 3 rubber bands at a time. So I'm going to take my 3 white bands, starting here, and go down. 3 again. We're going to make this 4 long. So 3 rubber bands, and another 3. So that's one of your legs. And we need to do one more leg, where these are the 2 front legs. The back legs will go onto the loom with the rest of the body. But there isn't room for everything, so we've got to do 2 of the legs here in advance. So now I've started the second leg with 3 rubber bands. And again, I'm going to make it the length of 4. So that's the second. The third. And the fourth. And now we need to put caps on these as well. And again, you want to do it at least 3 times. If you can get a 4th, that's great. 3 and 4. And on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4 times around. And that's going to be your 2 front legs. And our nose, or our snout, we're going to use 3 rubber bands as well, because we want our pony to have a nice thick snout. So 3 and 3 again, with another cap band for the very tip of the nose. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going around a 4th time. And because we want to make this one a unicorn, we need to make a horn. This one is going to be a little different. We're going to take just a single yellow rubber band or whatever color you want the horn to be, and you're going to wrap it around twice. This is what's going to make that horn be small and narrow and pointy. So I'm going to make this 3 long because I like my pony to have a modest horn. If you would like a more impressive horn, feel free to increase the length. And then on this one, I'm going to ask you that you really try and get that 4th wrap in. If you can get a 5th, even better for a pointy tip. 3, 4, 5. And that is your horn layout. And we could start hooking these. Now, if you've made the horn and you've doubled over these rubber bands are extremely tense. This is the most likely place to break your hook. So please be careful. If you have a metal hook and you can use it for the horn, that's a better idea than using your plastic hook. So I'm going to take this one that I happen to have from when I broke my hook the first time. If you haven't seen that video, it's worth a good laugh. So we're just going to take these and hook them straight forward. And that's your horn if you're making a unicorn instead of a pony. And for the rest of these that aren't doubled over, using your standard plastic hook is fine. You shouldn't do too much damage, even though there's 3 at a time. It's just not as tense as when those rubber bands are doubled over. So here's our snout. Now moving on to the legs. Okay, our snout, our leg, the other leg. And now our 2 ears. Okay, and we can take those off the loom. Think about where they're going to go. I'm going to take the face pieces off first because those are actually going to go on last. So there's 1 ear and 2 ears. And our snout. And our horn, which is of course the tightest. You'll see the difference on that one. And then our 2 legs. you go. 2 legs, a horn, a snout, and 2 ears. Ready to be laid on the loom. So now that we have those extra body parts ready to go, we'll set those aside and we could start to lay out our loom. So I have this chart that I'm using to help me. I will post this at madebymommy.com so you could print it out to follow along as well. We are going to start with the arrow at the top pointing down. We're going to build our unicorn from the head down to its feet at the bottom. And we are going to use 2 white rubber bands at a time, except for on the legs and the neck where we'll be using 3. So if I don't say what to do, it's probably 2, but I will try and remind you as we're going. So first, we are going to be laying out the top of the head. And the top of the head is also where this fabulous mane gets attached. So we're going to need to include those rubber bands in our layout now. So I'm making a rainbow mane. I'm going to be using all of these colors. You can use 1 color, you can use 2 colors, you could do whatever you would like up to, let's see, what is this total? 18 colors. So I'm going to start with my 3 red and 3 orange because we place 6 at a time. So there's my 3 red, my 3 orange, and I'm just going to lay those here, and I'm going to lay them here for now because it makes it much easier for me when I take my 2 white rubber bands from that first peg straight down. Then I can just flop these over into the right position. Use your fingers or use your hook, whatever makes you comfortable. And this is one of those places that's going to end up having 3 because we're going to put 1 more on top to secure those in place. And then we're ready for the next position. We're going to take the next colors that we want. I'm going to take my 3 yellow for the mane and flop those there, and my 3 green for the mane, put those here, and then take my 2 white from here down and bring those over to the center, and my 3 green from here, bring those over, and then I'm going to lay 1 more white across to keep those in place. And the next 3 for the mane, and my final 3 for the mane. That will be at the bottom of the neck, and 2 white, go there, bring around your blue, bring around your purple, slide those down, add 1 more rubber band on top, and that is going to be your pony mane. And we can construct the rest of the rubber bands for the head, 2 at a time, to the right, and around the side of the head. And on the diagonal. And then the other side as well. And I know some of you get mad because I'm working from the top down. As long as your arrow's in the right direction and you're always putting rubber bands on here first and then here and then here, it works the same. I just always find it easier to look at the object I'm creating in the way it's going to come off the loom. So that, you know, here's the head and here's the body and here's the feet, as opposed to building a horse upside down. Works for me, and I hope you could follow along. So that was 2 each on the diagonal, straight, straight, and then on the diagonal in. And now we're up to the neck. That is one of those positions that you want to put 3 rubber bands. One, 2, 3. Phew. And now we are up to the body. We're going to take 2 at a time, straight down for the next 5 positions. So here's 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. Let's see. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, one more. 5. Great. And now the shoulders. So this is the bottom of the head. There was the neck with 3. I'm starting on the next peg. Diagonal to the right. And then here, the diagonal to the left, and 2. I'm going to do 2 for the next 4 positions, and then we're going to switch to 3 rubber bands because it'll be the leg that we're working on. So this is the last one, that's 2. And now from here to the bottom, we're going to put 3 at a time. There we go. And on this side, again, we're going to put 2 at a time for the first 4 positions. And then we'll switch to 3, but right now, just 2. Phew, you guys are working hard with me today. Thanks for hanging in there. This one is worth the work. It comes out so cute. So now we're up to the leg, so we want to put 3 at a time. Until we get to the very bottom of our loom. Or for those of you who have longer looms, actually, I should say this, it's 4 sets of 3 rubber bands. So that our legs are even with the legs we made before, which were also the same length of 4. So here's my last one with 3 rubber bands going on here. There you go. So that, wow, is the basic layout of the body. And we are ready to start layering on our cap bands. To start, the bottoms of the feet. Again, please do this at least 3 times. If you can do 4, that's great. 2, 3, 4. It depends really on the brand of rubber bands you're using. I'm using for this one all Rainbow Loom brand rubber bands. and I'm using their original style opaque. If you start using the jellies or the glitters, you won't be able to get it around 4 times, so don't feel bad about that. That's just the limitation of the rubber band. So as long as you get it until it's tight, it's gonna look good. So we've just added those 2 for the bottom of the feet. We're going to bring our legs in now. Hello. Those are going to go, we have our shoulder, 1 down. That's going to give your horse a nice chest when you bend it up later. There's 1, and again you'll see there's the shoulder, 1 down, and that's where you're going to put your other leg. There it is. And we can lay the cap bands for the body now. So we're going to go around the pegs like a triangle, and we're going to wrap them so that they go around twice. I'm going to try not to let them pop off. There we go. And here. And here. I love the noise that makes. It's like, I wonder who the first person to compose a song on the Rainbow Loom guitar will be. Let's see. And 1 more. There we go. And we are ready to add the caps on the face. Now I'm going to set my horn aside for the moment so that I can do all the steps that make this a pony first. I have a second hook. I'm just going to get this out of the way. And then we'll go on with all the pony steps. Okay, so we have our snout here. Now, our snout, we want to be connected to the cap band that's going to go around these 3. So I'm going to slide this down where it's easier for me to work with. And I'm going to take a white rubber band, that's going to be my cap band. Give it a little bit of a stretch. I'm going to twist it and double it over. So that's 1 rubber band now, twisted and doubled. I'll do that again just because I know sometimes I go fast. So 1 rubber band, stretch it, twist to make an X, and just fold it over on itself. There you go. And now we're going to take this and string it through our snout. And then you take 1 end and put it here. And the other end, we're going to bring it across to there. So see, that's the 3rd pegs down on the left and right side. You've got your nice snout sticking out. And we're going to take this double wrapped band and just stretch it up over here. And that is how you apply your snout. And now we can do the eyes. Now this is a big moment for Made by Mommy. I am late to the game in terms of working with beads for eyes. I'm a purist, I have to say. I like using my rubber bands. So for those of you who don't have beads, what you're gonna do is take your rubber band, you wrap it around 3 or 4 times, and then string a white rubber band through, just like I do for the panda face. But For this design, because it's Joni's and I love what she did, I went shopping and I got myself these seed beads. 6/0 is the size. This whole package of all those beads was $3 full price, and I had a coupon, so it was $1.50 for me to get all these beads. So this isn't an expensive edition, but it's a chore if you don't have it yet. I will make another video to show you how to create eyes if you don't have these beads. I'll click to that here. But for now, assuming you have these beads, you're going to, there's my two. I have these on something called monofilament. Makes it much easier to get your rubber band on. You could use dental floss if you don't have this stuff around your house. So you've got your two beads, you've got them on your dental floss. Now you're going to take a white rubber band. You're going to string it. I'm actually going to do these beads one at a time. So I'm poking my dental floss back through a single bead with the rubber band hooked on it. And then I'm just going to pull my bead over the center of the rubber band, because these beads holes are way too small for me to get it through otherwise. So once you have it like that, set that aside, get your other bead, stick your dental floss in the middle of it, get your white rubber band, and then stick your floss back through the bead a second time from the same end, so that you have bead with a loop and then your rubber band. And then you can just pull it straight over to the center and get rid of that. So now you have two beads strung, and we want to get these on kind of like we did the snout, but these are obviously going to be on separate sides. So put those on your hook, and then get your white rubber band, stretch, twist, and double over. There you go. And here we go. Now we've got our two eyes on this string that we're going to put onto the second peg. Here and across the way, all the way over there. Now, my eyes are looking pretty jumbled, but fortunately I can fix them now. So you just want to separate those two eyes and then bring the centerpiece up and over the bridge so that we can string it so that these eyes don't come together again. And there you go, two little eyes. So if you did not have the bead, you would have taken, instead of the bead here, you would have a rubber band wrapped around 4 times and then strung on that white. And that would work the same too. Okay, so now we have our eyes, we have our nose, we are missing our tail. Now the tail is another complicated step because this isn't just a little tail. You look at that, look at how awesome that tail is. It's pretty cool, right? So for each of these colors, you want to take 4 rubber bands. I'm going to move this out of the way just to help focus. So we take 4 rubber bands in 2 pairs of 2, and we're going to make a slip knot to connect these together. I'm going to do this just using my fingers, and I wish my hands were invisible because it would make it much easier to see. Unfortunately, my hands are not invisible, so you're just going to have to watch, and I'm going to do this over and over again, so you'll see it a bunch of times. So I've got one rubber band here. I'm going to take the second one, tuck it under. I'm going to take one side of that top one and pull it through. To make, see, slip knot. If you didn't get it that time, you can watch me do it with the next 5 colors. So we've got orange. Now, I've got 4 rubber bands, 2 and 2. Take one, wrap it around the other, and pull through to create a slip knot. Orange, because this is a rainbow unicorn. Yellow's next. So take one. Really would help if I could sing. I think that would make these sort of repetitive tasks much more entertaining for you. So here's green. And now even if you weren't doing a rainbow pony, you were just doing a solid pony, you still want to do this many times. Because like for instance on this one, see, it really makes sort of a fun tail when it has that volume. Just wouldn't be the same if it didn't have this much. So here's our blue. And finally our purple. There we go. So now we have all our tails. Line them up. And they will all go on the loom. And right on this peg. And there are a lot of them. So this one, you stuff them all down really low. Here you go. And the last thing that we have are the ears, but we're going to wait on the ears until after we've started hooking. Yeah, we're ready to start hooking. Can you believe it? And I know some of you always find that humorous. Oh, wait, see, one of these green ones escaped. So I'm going to bring these back up to get that green one looped on. Here we go. Okay, so to keep all these unruly tails in place, you're going to reach in, and you're going to catch those 2 rubber bands, and you're going to bring them forward. Now your tails pieces should not escape on you anymore. I'm going to keep going up the middle just to make sure that all those tail pieces don't get away from us. I'm going to go straight up to where the neck meets. Now I'm going to go back down to the bottom of the foot, reach in, and here we go. All the way up the side of your pony's body. This one you gotta be careful. You catch the right ones. I'm gonna look from the side to make sure I'm getting just that bottom band. There we go. And back down here. Up. Who knew a pony could resemble a triple single? Okay, and we're all the way hooked up to the neck. And now we're going to reach in, and again we're going to watch carefully to make sure we're getting the right bands, those 3 that go forward. There we go. And from here to the left, and here to the right, and up the side. I'm just going to pause here because the ear placement is a little tricky. We don't want to put them on before we loop because we want them to be prominent, and that requires a little bit of extra fussing. So we're going to hook those, and then we're going to get one of our ears and we're going to slide our ear onto that hooked pair. And I'm just going to set this one back on here for the moment until we get the other side completed. So we've got our other ear waiting for us on our hook, or wherever you left it. And we're going to take this hooked pair and slide our ear onto it. And then we can put this back with all its bands on that original peg. So we have this one now that's sort of free floating that will let us create the horse ear shape that we want. And we're going to now take this one back to where it belongs. There you go. And your pony has ears. Very important. Do not forget the middle of the pony's face. So we're going to take, and these are 3 bands, up and over the snout. So I stretch those out and pull the snout in between. And here, watching out for those main rubber bands. You don't want to catch those. You just want to catch the color of the pony's face. between the eyes to keep those eyes separated. And then your last one. Oh my goodness. Did you say the last one? I did. So if you are making a pony, that was your last one. We'll just need to add one rubber band in to hook this all together. Now, for those of you who are not making a pony, who are instead making the magical unicorn, guess what we're going to do? We're going to attach our horn here. There it is. And now, a very, very tricky maneuver. We need to string a rubber band to hold this whole thing together. So, put your hook in so you can see it peeking out the bottom. Catch your rubber band. Bring the hook against the plastic so you're not catching those bands, and pull it around. Congratulations. You're ready to slip knot that rubber band. Let me get close up so you can see this. So I have a rubber band now. You can see it's around all of those layers. You're going to take one end of the rubber band through the other, like that, to create a knot. And that is what is going to keep everything together. And we're ready to take it off the loom, and boy, do I hope this comes out good. I'm going to start from the bottom, loosening up the feet. Get the other foot. For a design like this that has cap bands across the body, it's really helpful to remove the outside before the middle. The moment of truth. I hope you like it, Joni. I hope that you feel you've put your design into good hands for YouTube, because I'm really glad to get to make this design today. Here we go. Dun, da, 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 da. Now, right now, this is not surprising. Your pony or unicorn looks pretty flat. Fret not. Give a little tug on the snout, and that will create a better shape. You want to curve up the upper body, and you want to adjust the legs downward. But then it should all come together in a way you are happy with. Thank you so much to Joni for sharing her design with me and with all of you. I really recommend that you, if you're on Facebook, go and like her page so you could see what creative idea she comes up with next. And if you liked this video and you'd like me to continue teaching you how to make really fun figures and charms on the Rainbow Loom, then do click like below. Subscribe if you want to be notified when new videos are posted. And comment below to let me know what you'd like me to see me make next. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great time looming. Bye-bye, everybody.